All right. I mentioned that I got to see the movie Air on Monday. There was a screening down in New York. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Viola Davis, they were there in attendance. And the movie is about Sonny Vaccaro and Nike and the pursuit of Michael Jordan and creating that partnership that really revolutionized the world of sports and culture. Matt Damon plays Sonny Vaccaro. Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman, Viola Davis also in it. Chris Tucker is got a starring role as well. Hits theaters on April 5th as we bring in Sonny Vaccaro. How close did you come to losing Michael Jordan at Nike?
Every day was a challenge. I was the stranger when I first met him. I never met him. George Routing introduced me, and I knew George very well at that time. He was my best man at our wedding. But since that first day, there was some sort of a connection that you can't explain. People make they did this. It was like karma or something. I can't explain it to you. But every day from the first day on, for the next 3.5 months in pursuing him, was a chore, because the idea for me was to help convince him to believe in this young company that might do something that they've never done before. That was the chore. And Michael at 21, 22 years old, as he is now, 40 something. He had his own mind. He had his idea of what he wanted to do, and he didn't want to go with Nike, that's for sure. So it was my greatest journey. And, I've had a few of these things. But the other things basically in my life, Dan, I controlled. Whether it was that first All-Star game, whether it was paying the coaches, it was seriously my idea. This was an idea that was given to me, the opportunity by, Phil Knight and Rob Strasser and Peter Moore, especially Rob and Phil. They gave me the okay. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would ever be involved on the professional side and recruiting a player that was going to be the signature of Nike forever.
But I didn't know if it was more about recruiting Michael's mom in the movie, played by Viola Davis, or was it more about recruiting Michael to Nike?
Michael was always Michael. But I knew that family, not specifically Mrs. Jordan at that time, but family was what guided Michael. So after the first meeting, I knew that the only way to Michael's heart was we got to convince his family. I didn't assume, and I don't want to think anyone is thinking I said, we're going to go from this. I just said, I knew family was big in that short period of time. And Michael Jordan really only listened to family and then mom. There's no question.
Did Nike make Michael? Did Michael make Nike?
Let me just say this. I have no idea what history, neither do you, Mr. Patrick. But without Michael Jordan, he made everything. And he made, you people in the media talk about the GOAT, the best player and all that. I'm not going to be involved with that crap, because I believe personally, Sonny Vaccaro, that the GOAT is the guy who's the best player in the generation he plays. So let's get past the GOAT stuff. Okay. Let's get past Michael with LeBron and, and this guy and that guy. But what he was the GOAT of for Nike, start with Nike, but the rest of the world was marketing. What he did, he opened up $1 billion trillion industry for people that he never met. And who are they? The athletes, and particularly the minority athletes of today's society. He opened up a venue that he could be a part ownership in.
He's Sonny Vaccaro, the former sports marketing executive. He signed Michael Jordan to that first sneaker deal at Nike. So you leave Nike, you go to Adidas. You have a chance to sign LeBron, because he wore Adidas in high school, I believe. Yes. How did Adidas screw that up, that LeBron ended up going to Nike?
The LeBron story is quite different than the Michael story. I knew LeBron's family, including mom and all the young Maverick, when they were 10th to 11th grade in high school. That one was someone when I made my break, it was like when I found Kobe for Adidas in 96 or 97 and Tracy the next year after that. That I did that pretty good, and I knew this kid was going to be pretty good, because the people in his hometown, they brought a film to me. But Adidas screwed up the way Adidas historically screws up. Okay, they should have had Michael Jordan. This conversation in '84, Michael would have gone with them for 50 cents more for a financial part of it. they offered much more on the surface until we sweetened the pot and said, you're going to get a percentage.
Yeah.
So LeBron was ignorance. Adidas made a horrible mistake. They changed. I offered LeBron, $100 million, $10 million a year while he was still in high school. Never signed anything. We didn't break any violations. I met him and his family, and I said, this is what it's going to be. And until that moment, until the day of the signing, we were supposed to sign, I was given permission. Dan, in my lifetime, whoever I worked for, I never spent other people's money without them giving me the opportunity to spend other people's money. It wasn't like I was guaranteeing it. But Adidas told me that give them the $10 million a year. I go to this meeting in Malibu when LeBron flies out and the team flies out. We're whining and dining. I was in his home. I was back in Ohio with them. I watched them grow up and all that sort of stuff. We opened up the contract. It wasn't $100 million. They had incentives in there.
Oh.
Well, my first thing was, you're giving a guy $100 million. You're worrying about incentives. You're hoping he can play. I mean, that's bullshit. Excuse me. But my point there, Dan, is they said no. Well, the rest is history. When I opened up, I told LeBron and his mom that I hugged them, and Pam and I went over to the corner of this mansion in Malibu, and I said, you go to Nike and you get yourself a good deal. Don't tell them that we screwed up. Play the music with them, make them pay, whatever it was. So they screwed up. I don't know if we would have signed them, because I still believe Nike would have eventually gone over it. I mean, but I don't know if that's true too. This is still 2000, 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not ready yet. LeBron set the next thing. LeBron came in and overcome what Kobe had done. By that time, Kobe's a great player and all that stuff. He has a miscue. He changed his shoe companies and all that stuff. LeBron was the next one, and LeBron came as closest to getting what Michael got in his own shoe, but he didn't get it out of it. Adidas screwed up.
I've known you for a long time, and if you would have said somebody was going to play you in a movie, I probably wouldn't have picked Matt Damon. I wouldn't have picked somebody as good-looking as Matt Damon. But, yeah, congratulations. Yeah.
Well, that is more than congratulations. I mean, Matt Damon playing me. Dan, you have known me a long time, and I'm so glad we get to talk about this subject, because you've been with me where times weren't so good, where sometimes you and a couple of other guys gave me a chance to talk about what it was I was trying to do. So to hear, Matt Damon, I mean, my God, I mean, and Ben and the whole cast, I mean, these guys are amazing. I mean, Ben, their background, I couldn't have picked any. I mean, who would I have picked? I never thought the day would come. This never entered my mind, Mr. Patrick, ever. So if I should die tomorrow when we hang up, okay, I'll know that I'm at peace with whatever happens and whatever talks about, because I've watched the evolution of something that very few had a chance to watch, the evolution of a human being that actually changed the patterns of America. And that evolution was Michael Jordan.
I'm happy for you, Sonny, and continue good health there in Palm Springs, and good luck with the movie.
I pray to God I get to see you and your family one more between we make the last rodeo here, okay?
Thank you, bud.
All right, God bless you. Thank you.
It's Sonny Vaccaro. Didn't expect that at the end of the interview, but hope he's in good spirits, good health. He's in good hands with his wife, Pam, but Sonny been around college basketball a long, long, long time. And I think 1982, I've known him 40 years. And the highs and lows, good and bad, from Nike, Adidas, Reebok, and what he did for these college coaches